Good morning. Okay, as usual, we want to start with just becoming centered and present in this moment. So if we can find some comfort in our seat, be that on a chair or on the floor, and take a moment just to feel the support beneath you, the seat itself, the feet on the ground. Maybe just shuffle a bit and find that sensation of being supported, and then start to lengthen the spine. So you just want to sit up a bit tall, coming away from a backrest if you have one, and then allow the shoulders to relax and drop down the back. And if you are comfortable, close your eyes or just have a soft gaze. In this moment, we want to start to practice our awareness, which we've been working on for the past 8 weeks. So the awareness for now is about noticing what's going on within us. So physical sensations. Sometimes those are quite subtle, just a little tingle here or there, or sometimes they could be more significant, like a sensation of pain or discomfort. It's important that we try and bring our attention to the detail of what we're experiencing. So we want to try and become more aware of the quality, the intensity, and the space of the sensation. Where is it and how big is it? And when we practice this noticing of sensations, over time we are able to practice awareness with an openness and a curiosity that doesn't involve judging or wishing for it to be different. We just are with that experience. We are alongside it almost. And then take your attention elsewhere into the body. Notice the touch points with the floor and the chair. Notice your hands. Notice the space between your eyebrows. Maybe that needs to soften a bit. Notice the mind and its thoughts. The thoughts will come in and they will go. And maybe there are many, but it's okay. We're just wanting to observe from a distance, watching the thoughts come and go, until we get to a point where they are coming and going, but we're not getting too involved. We're just observing, and eventually it becomes quite distant. And then we draw our attention to our breath. We want to notice our breathing. Notice the feeling of the inhales and the exhales. Maybe you can hear the sound of your breath. Just continue being aware of your breath. Your eyes closed or a soft gaze. It's often useful to set intentions, either at the beginning of the day or at the beginning of a practice, such as a meditation. And setting an intention really is planting a seed. It's allowing the body and the mind to explore a concept that can manifest if we set the intention and allow the body and mind to take that intention and work with it. And Deepak Chopra has got what he calls 4 subtle intentions that he sets for himself on a daily basis. And the first one focuses on body awareness. And he sets the intention of a joyful, energetic body. A joyful, energetic body. Then his next subtle intention is in the heart space. And the intention he sets is to have a loving, compassionate heart. A loving, compassionate heart. The third area of attention is at the third eye, so the space between the eyebrows, where we talk about our sixth sense and our intuition. We often refer to the third eye. And the intention he sets for that space is having a reflective, alert mind. And then the fourth area of attention and awareness that he focuses on is the space outside the body. So all around us, the space that we exist within. And the intention that he sets for this space is a lightness of being. A lightness of being. And with that one, he specifically talks about concepts such as no regrets, no anticipations, being spontaneous, and being intuitive. So allowing the intuition to guide us. So I quite like those 4 intentions that he sets every day, and our intentions can be different, but the concept is the same. As if we have a purposeful intent, we're giving ourselves an opportunity to move towards those, to manifest those. So joyful, energetic body, loving, compassionate heart, reflective, alert mind, and a lightness of being. Let's take a nice deep breath in together and sigh out the mouth. Another deep breath in and sigh it out. Good. In your own time, you can just gently come back to the awareness of your physical body and the space, and slowly open your eyes. Okay, so we are in week 9, second to last week, and some mixed feelings for me, obviously, because it's getting towards the end now, and I feel like, each time I run this program, there's a growth and learning for myself, and when I connect with different people, there's something inside of me that shifts, and so I get to experience this with different people, and I value each journey that I take with individuals and groups around this program, because each time I teach the program, I myself experience a learning, and I think that's probably the thing that makes it so important to me, is to find connection and to grow and learn myself. So always mixed feelings when I get to this point, because it's near the end, and albeit that these programs need to come to an end, because we need to be able to sustain our own journeys through learning and practicing. But it's still always a feeling of, oh, I wish it could continue. So yeah, week 9 we are in. Just a bit of a check-in. So for me, just feeling a little bit like I'm a bit scattered. It's partly because of lack of sleep. My little one, he was awake from, I only went to bed at about 12, and he woke up at that time and stayed awake till about 3. So I fell asleep at about 3:30 about, and then was up at 6. So feeling a bit scattered because of some of sleep, and then also in terms of routine, I have my son doing his exams at home, so I have to play the role of an exam facilitator, and yeah, so it's just the different things that are going on that I think is making me feel a little bit all over the place. And what that means for me is that I'm going to have to focus a little bit more on my practice. And even if it means that it's shorter practices because of these dynamics that are going on, it just means that in that short time, I need to be trying to be as centered as possible, as focused as possible, as present as possible. So that's where I'm at. Okay. So anybody would like to share what's going on with them right now in this moment or in their lives? Any sensations, feelings, emotions that you'd like to share? And when you do feel whatever it is you're feeling, yeah, there is a knowing in us that it can change at any time, but just to value it and experience it and treasure it in the moment is all we can do. So it's about saying, okay, so this is how I'm feeling now. I'm going to go with it, and even if it does change. So okay, so week 9 is all about observing energy sensations. Okay, and because we've been on this journey where we've been deepening our self-awareness and doing potentially some healing through simply the act of compassionate acceptance, there is healing that has taken place. Plus, we may have embarked on some specific healing that relates to our unique observations, areas that we wanted to work on. So we've been doing the awareness, we've been healing. And so now, when we get to this point, we want to bring our attention to the energy exchange between ourselves and the universe as such. So that means the people in our space. It means creatures, if we've got pets or just creatures anywhere, and nature. So what is a wonderful thing to become aware of is that we connect with energy all the time. And the moment there is a subtle shift within us in terms of awareness, in terms of self-compassion, whether we like it or not, whether there's no deliberate action required. It's just that awareness and compassion and healing. The energy automatically shifts and changes within us, and therefore the exchange of energy with everything else is different, and it just happens automatically. But if we take our attention to it, if we actually purposely try and observe that, it's a wonderful thing to see and notice. Again, as we said last week, these shifts can be very subtle, or they can be profound, but they are there. And it's an openness that we need to focus on, and an awareness that is intuitive and curious, that will reveal these shifts in energy exchange. And so what we want to do is to try and see this happening as we in real time. So, and it can be with people and with our pets in our homes, but it is also there when we're engaging with complete strangers. They feel the energy, they feel this flow of positive energy and this flow of healing energy. It rubs off on others. People can heal just from your healing energy. So when you are out in at the shops or engaging with people just randomly, just try and slow that down in terms of the experience and observe what's going on. And you may not be able to do a direct comparison to say the past, because you may not have engaged with those people or that in that situation before, but you should be able to feel it. You should be able to feel that there's something happening there. People respond in a way that is directly as a result of your energy. So we want to notice that. And that energy that we start to notice as we progress on our journey of awareness and healing becomes easier to observe and more noticeable. And we start to then understand a little bit more convincingly how we are all really just energy and exchange of energy in this universe. So when we see it for the first time, we think, wow, that's amazing. I feel like there's been such a little shift in me, but the consequence in terms of energy exchange is exponential. It's huge. It makes such a big difference. And then you start to see it more and more in areas that you wouldn't even expect. So we want to try and take our attention there. Well, as always, it's not a forced observation. It's not like really like trying to find something that's not there. It is there, but it's about just being open to seeing it. And then obviously reflecting on that enhances that experience and encourages more of it. So if you are journaling, using the journals, then to like write that down. Wow, I was at the shops and the amazing interchange happened. Or I just was next to somebody without words and felt something. some sort of energy exchange. So let's try and do that. Try and pay attention to energy exchange. I've had people talk about their relationship with their pets even being different after they've worked through some trauma or worked through some aspects of their life that they had to heal from or let go of, and how that is been picked up immediately by their furry friends, you know, and animals are completely in tune with energy exchange. You know, they will know from a distance that something is different in you. So people have often spoken about how when they've been through changes in their lives, how their pets and other people's animals have picked up on that. So that's, if you do have pets, it's a place that you can use to witness that shift in energy within yourself and how that impacts those around you. So give that some thought and give it some time. Again, just, we're not trying to force something that's not there. Just be aware of each engagement, and of course that activity for the week is again tied back to our practice of deepening awareness of everything, awareness of our existence. So as I said last week, week 8 and 9 comes back to awareness, but from a different lens and from a different position in terms of where we are at. So there is purpose in the activity, noticing that energy sensation exchange and continuing this journey of deepening our awareness and our ability to be aware. So it's a practice. Okay, so so that's where we're at with the program, week 9. It's in the transformational phases because we're witnessing our transformation, its impact on others, and how that transformation in others then feeds back to us, and that circle just continues. So we're in that transformation phase. Okay, and then we're going to just move into the past week and see if there's any feedback there, but there's an opportunity, if you want to engage in last week, to also talk about this week if there's any questions or any things that you want to discuss around this week's activities. I went through the videos that were on the self-study for this week, and I went through them again, and there's like a whole mix match there, but some nice ones. So try to give them a watch, over the week. So maybe it's just, there's some very short ones. The Brene Brown ones are short little snippets of her. So those are just a few minutes. So you should be able to get through them even if you watch one a week, one a day, sorry. So give those a go. And it is, we are in the second to last week. So check in with that joy list from the beginning. Check in with that. And I don't know if you've been adding to the joy list, but it's a good thing to do, remembering that it can be just a moment of an experience. And this week, when we're doing that observation of the energy exchange, maybe that there is a few observations that that you want to actually put down on your joy list, because you feel that, wow, what is that? It feels different. It feels good. And that is joy. Joy doesn't necessarily mean a grand thing, a trip overseas, or some sort of adventure. It can be a very brief, subtle experience. So just remember to check in with that joy list and see what you've written so far, and see if there's anything to add this week. Okay, so watch the videos. I think they're quite good. Feedback from last week, if there is any, it would be nice to hear. And those are wonderful, wonderful moments. And they come about more and more when we practice the awareness. So when we're doing our own practice, or we're observing, or we're purposely observing, all that is doing, the practice of awareness is not where we get the gems of wisdom from. It's the practice of awareness is just simply increasing our capability and our skill set of awareness. And then those awareness, those intuitive awareness connections that we have become more and more. Yeah. So the one thing that I've really get moved by is when there is an experience of complete silent connection. So where you are in the presence of somebody or others, and no words are exchanged, but there's something really profound happening within the room in terms of either a sensation of complete ease, where you are present and connected, but there's no pressure and feeling of expectation to engage. You're just there, and silence is what is making it a special connection. So those for me are like really profound and moving connections when I experience that. Okay, guys, so I want to just do a practice, and we'll do a breathing exercise, one that we've done before, but it's a good one to come back to every now and again. And then we'll do some seated stretches. And the focus of the stretches today is on twists, so spinal twists. And spinal twists are one of the most important types of movement and stretches that we can do. So we've spoken about the flexion and extension of the spine. So the flexion is when we round forward and move forward with our body, and extension is when we move back. So flexion is that, extension is that. So we've spoken about those. Those are equally as important, but and we tend to do more of those in our day-to-day lives, but twists are not often done. So our body, the range of motion that we're supposed to have is to be able to completely twist the neck facing that way, shoulders. So from our base of our spine, the body should almost get to 90 degrees is how we were structured, right? But because we are creatures of habit, and we sit in a certain way, and our postures are somewhat like restrictive in terms of our range of motion, we need to include movement that finds our full capacity. And for each of us, that's different because of bodily structures, because of injuries, because of longevity, whatever. But we need to take it to where our bodies can go. And the other point about the spinal twists is that because the central nervous system runs via the spine, and because we've been talking about energy, the energy in the body continuously flows, and there's channels where the energy flows, but energy can get stuck, right? And where a certain part of the body that's intended to move in different directions doesn't move in those directions too often, energy, that part of the body gets stagnated and perhaps a bit inflamed, and therefore the energy flow is not that great. So we get stuck energy. So the spinal twists are, I like to think about it as when you take a wet towel or something, you wring it out. You want to wring out and it lets go of all the moisture. We want to do something similar with the spinal twists. Okay, so for the breathing exercise, we want to again be sitting up nice and tall. We want to relax the shoulders. We want to maybe just loosen up the neck and the head so that the breathing is nice and free. And for this breathing exercise, we're going to come back to that breath retention exercise, which is breathing in for a few seconds, holding for a few seconds. When we release it, we want to release it very slow, so I'll count that down. And then we want to hold on empty without breathing for a few seconds. For each of us, this may feel a bit different. So if yours is a little bit shorter or longer than my count, that's completely okay. But we just want to keep the consistency. So we're trying to breathe in for the same amount of time as hold, as let go, and as hold on empty again. With the breath retention exercise, what I like to do is focus on the experience when we are not breathing. So when we're holding the breath at the top and when we're holding on empty at the bottom. Notice what you're feeling at that time. It's a wonderful thing to know that you're not doing anything. You're not even breathing. You're just sitting, no breath. So just try and bring your attention to those times. Okay, so sit nice and tall, hands are relaxed, shoulders are relaxed. And let's just take a normal inhale and exhale to prepare. And then breathe in nice and slow. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slow release. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to hold on empty. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slow, deep inhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the top. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slow release. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold on empty. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice deep slow breath in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the top. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slow release. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold on empty. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And just breathe normally again. Take some time here with the eyes closed just to notice any sensations, any feelings, any experience around the breath work we've just done. Maybe it's a physical sensation that you experience. Maybe it's emotional. Maybe it's just a slight dizziness. And then you can flick your eyes open. Okay, this twist. So we're going to start with just a standard seated twist. You're going to take your left hand to your right knee, so or your lap, because you're sitting on a chair, and then taking your right hand behind you. I like to use my fingertips so that I can push down and the fingertips to get length. So on the inhale, pressing down into that hand behind you, take it right close to your sitting bones. So lengthen the spine on the inhale, pushing down. On the exhale, we start to twist and we look over the right shoulder. Try to look over the right shoulder with the left eye. And we're going to stay here for a few breaths. Just be gentle initially. So we want to gradually come into the full expression. With each inhale, you can push down a little bit more, trying to find a tiny little bit more length. And with each exhale, we're trying to find another millimeter in our twist. And now we're going to unravel very slowly, coming back to center. Pause there for a moment. And then we go the other side. So right hand on left leg or knee. Left hand behind, pushing down when we take a deep inhale. So we're lengthening the spine. Exhale, we twist, looking over the left shoulder with the right eye this time. And we're here for a few breaths. So take your time to find that space with each breath. And then we're going to unravel nice and slow again. Okay. So the next twist involves us using our arms when we breathe. So I'm just going to show you what it looks like. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see the full view of it. So when we're breathing now, we're going to sit up tall. We're going to lift the arms up. So make sure you get some space on the inhale. We're going to lift up and really reach the fingers towards the ceiling to try and pull the body out the hips. And on the exhale, we're going to drop the right hand behind, try and get it at shoulder height. And we're going to look back at the right hand. And then the inhale, we're going to come back up through center, lifting the arms up. And on the exhale, we drop the left hand behind and we look at the left hand. See, the arms are at shoulder height. So we're opening the body up, looking back. Inhale, we'll go back. So that's how it's going to look. Okay. So sitting up nice and tall, inhale, reaching up. Exhale, right hand drops behind and we keeping the arms at shoulder height, looking back at the hand. Inhale, coming through and up to center. Reach, reach, reach. Exhale, left arm drops behind. The arms are pulling in opposite directions. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, other side again, right hand side, back. Inhale, back through center. Always with breath, nice deep breaths. Exhale, left hand behind, arms pulling in opposite directions, looking at the back hand. Inhale, back through center. One more time on each side, right hand behind. Breathe and inhale up. Exhale, twist. And inhale up. Hold the breath at the top. And then exhale, hands come down to the heart center nice and slowly. Take the hands and press the thumbs against your sternum. Maybe you can feel your heartbeat. And then the next one, we're going to keep the hands there. This is a twist with the hands in this position. So I'm going to go to the side again so you can see, sitting up nice and tall. And on the inhale, we're going to bring the body forward with the hands forward. On the exhale, we're going to take the arms out to the side. So you're pressing these hands together and we take a twist like that, and the head follows the hands. So hands come to the side on the exhale. Inhale, we come back to center. Exhale, go to the other side. Okay, so that's what it looks like. So your hands are still at your heart center. Inhale, take the chest forward. Exhale, let's go to the left first. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, other side. Press the hands firmly together when they're at the side and look at your fingertips. Inhale, back to center. Other side. Inhale, back to center. Other side again. Inhale, back to center. One more time on the left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, other side. And inhale, back to center. Lengthen the spine, pause. And take your hands down. Nice. Okay, taking your fingers to your top of your collarbones. And now we're going to do this one movement with each breath. So it'll just be an inhale, twist to the side. Exhale to the other side. So it'll be inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Okay, be gentle with your bodies if you're feeling any discomfort. But these twists are good as long as we know our own limitations. All right, so fingertips on top of the collarbones. Try and get your elbows up at shoulder height. Make sure there's length in the spine. We're not rounding. And then we go inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Head follows the movement. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Keep going at your own pace. You can close your eyes. Try and find the rhythm. Make sure you're breathing. Three more. And then come back to center, hands, find the knees. Just close your eyes for a bit. Notice what's going on in the body. Maybe there's some heat. And with heat means that there's energy that's shifting. And hopefully we've loosened up some trapped energy. With these twists, the sensation of being the twist lingers a bit. So we want to be aware of that sensation and watch it drift away. Nice. And then we can open the eyes if they were closed. Okay. So I want to talk a little bit about the activities for week 9. So there is that energy exchange, that energy sensation, the quality of energy that we want to try and observe and reflect on, you know, and as I say, that the act of reflecting, of journaling what we've experienced sits within us, and when we write it down, it actually becomes more obvious to us, and we notice it more from there. So try and put it down into words what you have experienced. Maybe just one a day, like I experienced this, and when we do reflect, it's more just about trying to articulate what it was that we experienced, you know, rather than the scenario, the context. It's not really about that. It's more just about the experience itself, the sensation itself. Was it warmth? Was it excitement? Was it a sense of connectedness, you know, like there was deep intuition that was being exchanged? So what was it that was experienced? So try and do that. The meditations obviously are still at 30 minutes, which they have been for a few weeks now. And there is one YouTube alternative. It's quite a short one. And that one is one of mine that I recorded. It was just about noticing the physical breath again. So it's always something that's good to come back to, is noticing breath, practicing that, noticing breath. So you can do the YouTube one as well on some of the days. And yeah, and look, for me, it's interesting to know where people are with their meditation practice. Like, how is it evolving? Is it any easier to do? Is there challenges with sitting in stillness? What do those challenges feel like? And often people get put off by those challenges, like physical discomfort or the thoughts are just so distracting that they feel like the meditation wasn't even worth it. But it's always worth it, and those distractions and those physical sensations are all normal. And even people that have been meditating for many years have the same things. What we try and become a little bit more skilled at is to not let that get in the way, not let that consume us. We're just observing. We are almost seeing ourselves as a third party, almost having like an outer body experience. There we are. Our thoughts are busy. So what? That's okay. We're feeling like tingling in our feet. Yes, we're feeling tingling in our feet. That's good to notice the tingling in the feet. So it's about knowing that none of those so-called challenges with meditation are wrong. They're absolutely normal. So I feel like we need to let go of the expectation around meditation, let go of the wrong and right concepts, and just keep at it, keep practicing, because the benefits are there even when we're not noticing it. The benefits are there in terms of us finding ease and peace within when we're out there in the real world, not when we're sitting meditating. So the meditation part is not where we find the peace and comfort. That is a practice. And yes, when we get into a regular practice over time, we can use that time to become centered, to almost let go a bit. But the practice of meditation is equipping us to become more present, more at ease outside of that 30 minutes or whatever time we're meditating for. So at this stage of the program, it's always interesting for me to know like how people are progressing with their ability to just be for 10, 20, 30 minutes. And yeah, so if anybody wants to talk about that, that would be nice to hear. If anybody has any feedback around the meditation practice itself. Or call it just the sitting in stillness. Okay. So the mantra for this week is it's never too late to live as my authentic, beautiful self. And and that mantra at this sort of stage of the program is all about saying we've come on this journey and the journey will continue, and there will be many iterations of this type of life cycle, and no matter what happens from here on, it's never too late to go back within, to look at what we're experiencing, to practice that compassion, to practice the healing, and to get back to our authentic selves. So it's a continuous journey, and it's never too late. So even if we come out of this program and then we hit more trauma or more obstacles, and we get knocked way off center, and we feel like, wow, everything I learned has just gone out the window. No, it's not, and it's just a matter of saying, I've done this, I can do this, I've done it before, I know how to go back within, I know how to practice my awareness, I know how to be compassionate, and getting back into that cycle with that knowledge that it's never too late. It's never too late to find yourself again. So I think it's quite a powerful mantra to hold, and the other part of it is saying authentic, but it's also saying beautiful self, in that we all are, in our own unique way, are wonderful, beautiful beings that connect in this universe, and each one of our experiences and energy exchanges are fundamental to the sum of the whole. Our contribution to that energy exchange is important. So yeah, it's a mantra that we should sit with and hold it, even if that's not what you're feeling. Just to keep saying it. It's never too late to be that authentic person. And the one video is Dr. Mata Gabor, and he's saying that actually all of the struggle and suffering we have is about finding our way back to our authentic selves. We've drifted off because of life experience, because of conditioning, because of expectations of others. We've learned through trauma and suffering and pain that it's easier to be not ourselves, right? And so that's a survival technique, but it may have got you through that challenge, but there's a continuous struggle within. There's a continuous tension within, because we're not being ourselves, and we are feeling the incongruence. We're feeling that tension, which is basically saying we don't really love our authentic self, and therefore we're going to be this person. And that is always going to create far bigger pain and struggle within than it is to work back to our authentic selves and be ourselves. So that's the mantra for the week, and it's probably, like, I would say, the toughest one to work towards, but it's one of the most important ones to honor that mantra. Okay. Yeah, and then, the other, the, 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 worksheet that we did way back in the beginning was called a goals worksheet. And so working into week 9 and 10, we want to have a peek back at what we wrote down there and just reflect on that a bit, so that by the time we get to the end of week 10, we can actually say, well, mostly that's what I had in mind is what I experienced or I achieved through this process, or it is completely different, and that's also okay. So maybe, during this week at some point, pull that out and have a look at what we wrote down in the goals worksheet. And if you remember, the goals worksheet had three categories to it. And I just want to see if I've got one here. So it was about something that we want to, something new that we want to gain and learn, an existing aspect of us that we want to enhance and grow, and then also what do we want to let go of. So those were the three categories. And so I think it's a nice time now to go back to what we wrote. Yeah, so something new I'd like to learn and gain, something existing that I'd like to enhance, and then something I would like to manage or let go. So manage as in adjust maybe, or let go of. So those were the three categories of goals, and maybe there was more than one in each one, but it doesn't have to be more than one. But take a peek and through this week and maybe have a look, and then into next week we'll try and conclude on that and write down some reflections next week on the goals. Okay, so that's really where we are at, and I want to read Melody Beattie's book again, as always, and I really love this passage that I've picked for this week. And when I read this, you can either sit and close your eyes or lie down or whatever will work for you, to just try and be open and curious to let the words come into you, and then from there you take what you want to take from it. There might be parts that resonate with you and parts that don't, but that's why it's just about experiencing the message in your own journey. Okay. It's called Be Present for Yourself. Learn to be present for yourself, fully present, in a way that's new and delightful. Be present for your thoughts and emotions. Be present for the gentle way in which your heart and body lead you on. Learn to be fully present for each step of your growth, each step of your journey. Value yourself, who you are, what you think and feel, and how you grow. For many years, you neglected yourself. It was as though you were unconscious of who you were, how you felt, what you believed. You believed that kept you safe, protected you from feelings you didn't want to feel. You believed it was how you should live. Now you're learning another way. Survival is no longer enough. It does not meet the needs of your heart and your soul. Now you want to live fully and joyfully. To do that, you must be present for yourself. Be fully present for others too. Be present for their spirits, their emotions, the words they have to say to you, but especially be present for their hearts. You no longer have to fear losing or neglecting yourself. If you can, you no longer have to fear losing or neglecting yourself if you are present for others. You can do this safely now. You will not be consumed by their needs. You will not become trapped in the workings of their lives. And if you are present for yourself, you will know how much presence to give to others. Be present for life, for the starlit skies and the chirping birds that sing to the morning sun. Be present for the earth and the grass under your feet, for the feeling of a snowflake in your hand. Be present for all the magic and mysteries of the universe. But most of all, be present for yourself. Then your presence for others and life will naturally follow. Okay, you're welcome to turn your mics and cameras on if you wish. So that reading there was really in the heart of what we're trying to do this week. Notice your presence, notice the presence of others and the interchange, and notice the universe, notice the magic that's out there. Be aware of how you impact everything and how everything impacts you. Yeah. Okay, guys. So yeah, you're welcome to share any last feedback or just to say our goodbyes, and then I wish you a wonderful week ahead.